Ladies, young ladies, and gentlemen, good morning to all, or good evening. You are once again welcome here on the Tribune of Awakening Consciousness. This is the headline of international news. American President Donald Trump is very, very angry. He is very upset regarding Vladimir Putin's Russia. So, what happened in 24 hours in Ukraine? The toll is very heavy. It's a very high toll. The toll is too heavy. And it's because of this very high toll that Donald Trump can no longer control himself. He doesn't understand why Vladimir Putin is stepping on the gas pedal. Honestly speaking, it's too much. It's immense. It's enormous. Russia has crossed the line. Yes. So, we will immediately see what Russia has done. That is to say, even beyond the 194 drones and the 58 missiles that Russia has sent against energy and gas facilities. Russia has also made significant moves across the entire Ukrainian national territory. You know it, we have often repeated it here. Russia has deployed all of its military units across the entire Ukrainian territory. They are positioned by grouping. And so, in each cardinal direction, you have groups that are there in the east, west, center, north, south, including some areas that no longer even belong to the cardinal points, but have simple names. These are the units that have been reactivated, but at will. The world is wondering, Russia, do this because of the latest statements from the Europeans? Or what is really the problem? Donald Trump is very upset. Yes, we thought it was a game. To at least show a good face towards Europe, and notably, I was going to say Ukraine. But he himself is touched to the core of his heart, since he is trying to prepare someone while he is fighting to solve a problem. And the other party is making it worse. But the escalation that Russia is engaging in was provoked, will have been provoked by Ukraine. Of course, after their famous meeting on March 6th. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, it is about this record assessment and this sudden decision that Donald Trump has just made that we are going to discuss in this video conference. But I humbly ask you to share the video conference as much as possible, give it lots of likes, and engage a lot. This is what allows the video conference to gain more visibility. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time here. My name is Robert Théa. Welcome. So, let's dive into the depths. Russia is literally crushing the Ukrainian armed forces on the battlefield. Yes, Trump is not wrong to be upset, because the situation is too much. So, what's happening? The Russian army carried out a surgical precision strike on energy infrastructures, as if that wasn't enough. You have several groups that have taken action. Let's go over the first group. It's the northern group, meaning Russian military units that are in the north of the country, in the north of Ukraine. The northern group continued to push back Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region, in the area of responsibility. And in that area, the enemy's losses, Ukrainian losses, amounted to 1,590 military personnel. 190 military personnel. That's the northern group. Too much. Let's go. 6 tanks were destroyed, 74 combat armored vehicles, and 28 artillery pieces, including 3 of Western manufacture. 4 ammunition depots were razed. As if that wasn't enough, the Western group this military unit that is in the west of Ukraine, occupied even more advantageous positions, and the Kiev army lost 1,525 Fabuzeti soldiers, Maranatha 1,525 soldiers. We are talking about human beings. They leave just like that. And when we say the army has lost, it means they go to rest. Eternal. It's final. Let's continue. The Western group destroyed 2 tanks, 29 artillery pieces, including 10 produced by NATO countries. 11 ammunition depots were destroyed. 11 ammunition depots. Can you imagine the expensive ammunition for NATO sent to Ukraine? Russia consumes it like drinking water. Trump is overwhelmed. Yes, he was used to hearing about what is happening in Ukraine, but he was not yet in power. And being in power and following live what is happening, he is overwhelmed. Let's go, as if all this wasn't enough. You have the Southern Group, which has also improved its tactical position. The Ukrainian forces lost 1,665 soldiers. Yes, 665. The Ukrainian forces lost 1 tank, 20 artillery pieces. Field artillery, including 4 of Western manufacture in its own area, 7 ammunition depots were eliminated. The worst part is that Russia has everything necessary to record everything they destroy along the way to allow them to show the world what they are capable of. As if all that wasn't enough, we have the Central Group, which liberated a locality that has been in the headlines these past few days. In the last 24 hours, the locality of Andrevka, in the Donetsk People's Republic. Ukrainian losses have reached this level. The number is high. At this level, it's 3,810 soldiers, Maranatha, Prishpostin. 3 Otendashits. Soldiers in just 24 hours. Russia is bombarding Ukraine. So, 2 tanks were destroyed. 29 combat vehicles were destroyed. These are Western-made combat vehicles. 21 artillery pieces were destroyed. As if that wasn't enough, I'm telling you that Russia has activated everything. The collapse of the East has liberated the locality of Skudo. Strike. Skodnoy. There you go, I got it, Skodnoy. This locality, also known as Burlatskoy, consists of several localities. This is what results in Burlatskoy. Privolnoy. There you go. It's difficult to pronounce, and this is in the Donetsk People's Republic still. There, at this level, the Ukrainian army lost 1,210 soldiers. 3 tanks, 26 artillery pieces, 6 of Western manufacture, and as if all that wasn't enough, we have the Dnieper group near the Dnieper River, which has improved its position on the front line. And the Ukrainians lost 575 soldiers. 1 tank, 2 armored vehicles, etc. So, the Russian air defense shot down 21 guided aerial bombs, JDAM, 5 HIMARS rockets, and 637 drones. We have 35 Ukrainian soldiers who surrendered on the contact line. They surrendered. So, Donald Trump is very upset. Donald Trump is very, very upset, as we mentioned earlier. That's why Donald Trump himself said, he says, I am considering imposing strong sanctions against Russia. Yes. He says he is considering imposing strong sanctions against Russia because he says, at the very moment I am speaking, the way Russia is bombarding Ukraine, I should impose sanctions against Russia in terms of customs duties, etc. But he needs to impose sanctions. So the content of the sanctions has not been disclosed yet. He just posted it on his social network, on the Trump network, his social network. But it already means that he himself is fed up. He is angry. It's like when you're arguing with someone, you tell them to stop, you're strong, and the person continues. But what is Russia going to do? Russia can only continue, since it hasn't agreed yet. Since Europe wants to test its capability, they have talked a lot these days. Russia was calm. Russia steps out, and then there are tears. In any case, what remains clear is that Russia has really pressed the accelerator pedal. It's simply said. Certainly, Russia is doing it to force them to speed up and move towards peace. Certainly. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the sad reality of international news. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I will be back shortly with more news. Thank you. This was The Voice from your one and only Samurai.